Welcome to Dub Nation, your hub for everything Utah Warriors of Major League Rugby. I am Jarom Jordan alongside Banksy. It's probably the last show of 2021. It's been an incredible year for the Warriors, Banksy.
It's been a great year, some incredible things, not quite the end of the season we wanted. We were 90 seconds away from playing in a grand final in the MLR Championship, but some big changes in the offseason, some great new additions for Dub Nation, and a lot to look forward to for 2022.
I'm stoked about it. It's going to be awesome. And 22 is going to be even better. Let's go. Okay, we're live on the Utah Warriors Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube account. Subscribe to the podcast version on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud. I know Banksy loves to listen on 2X. If you have a comment, fire away, and we'll try to get to some of those throughout the program, which is this. We're going to talk about the new signings. We released the roster last week, or 2 weeks ago, rather, when I didn't have a voice, with Sean Pittman and Brandon Sparks, which was awesome to gain insight from them about it. We're going to get Banksy's reaction to the signings and break it down. Plus, we're going to chat with MLR Draft Pick Emerson Prior. This guy's from Canada. This guy's got some game off the pitch. He's a super accomplished, awesome dude that we can't wait to add to the cadre of great players and great people with the Utah Warriors. So it should be a fun show coming up in the next about half an hour.
If you want to purchase your season 2022 tickets, make that the perfect stocking stuffer or gift for your rugby fan in your life. Now is the time to do it. Have it all ready to go before Santa comes down the chimney on Christmas, all right? Call 801-477-7652 now. Talk to our friends in the ticketing office. Get your seats picked out and be ready, Dub Nation, to support the Utah Warriors and the best home field advantage in Major League Rugby.
Oh, Bailey Wilson skying high over Connor Cook there. That was quite
good luck.
I like that one. Yeah, I heard Santa's season ticket holder, which is super cool. Okay, let's talk about the new signings. There's 6 new dudes. Let's break it down. So the first, Regan Leslie, a lock. He's 21. He's Australian, 6'7", 253. I like all that. Played for the Queensland Reds Academy. Super rugby interest. Young guy going to come over to the States and play for the Warriors.
This is a guy we had 2 really big holes to fill in that second row when we talk about the locking position and the tight end loose head side. And it's 6'7". This is a lot of big, tall timber to replace Matt Jensen, who retired for the Utah Warriors, one of the original Warriors family members here for Dub Nation. He's hanging up the boots. And so with the departure of Aston Fortine to France and Matt Jensen retiring, we knew we had to make some moves at the second row. And you want to talk about a guy that's come up through the Super Rugby academies. There's no better pedigree than a guy like Regan Leslie. And a younger guy, too, with a really high ceiling, plays pretty dynamically for a second rower. And I think he'll fit in really nicely with that engine room for the Utah Warriors.
Let's continue to look at some of the second rowers with Jamie Lane, a lock, 6'7", 235, 26 years old, from New Zealand. Some Mitre 10 experience in Auckland there. New Zealand U20 guy in 2015. So, again, a guy that's, in the middle of or young in his career, coming over to the Warriors to make an impact.
Kia ora, Jamie. Welcome to Dub Nation. The Auckland provincial side had a resurgence, especially during the 2 COVID seasons and the shutdown seasons that they've had, playing incredible rugby through that Mitre 10 Cup season last year. And you want to talk about a guy that's got it all. The minutes on the field are the only thing missing from this guy's resume to increase his rugby IQ and his time on the field. The experience that he's played in and around, the coaching that somebody like this has gotten. What a great addition for Dub Nation.
So those are the 2 new signings with the forwards. There are 4 backs. Let's talk about them. 2 new scrum halves. A bit of a shock here that, Michael Baska and Fraser Hurst not back. But the good news is 2 awesome scrum halves are coming in. Let's start with Niall Saunders, an Irishman, 5'10", 196. He'll be 24 when the season starts. He's son of former Ireland captain Rob Saunders, has some U18, 19, 20 experience. He's been with the Harlequins the last couple of years with Paul Lasike, one of the OG Warriors as well.
Yeah, Warrior number 1 over there with Paul Lasike, and a kid that was literally born with a rugby ball in his hands, grew up at the pitch, both at the club and professional level. Just the IQ that this guy has, soaking up all the rugby around him. Forget all the top-tier rugby that he's played. This is an incredible guy to have. He likes to play fast. He's a shifty back who can really move the ball around and can spot and attack his own gaps when he needs to. With Michael Baska pursuing rugby in France and wanting to take that chance, this is a great guy to have now to replace the experience and really the performance that we had with Vasca last year for the Warriors.
So there's Niall Saunders, and at scrum half also there's Jone Vatu Wali Wali. Scrum half 5'6", 194, 21 years old, Fijian, U18 rep the last couple of years. He helped get some of those guys ready for the Olympics in the Super 7 series. So this guy's bringing some youth and some energy as well.
At scrum half, this is another different type of player. Plays a little bigger, a little thicker. Think more of like a TJ Perenara type of kid at scrum half there. He's a little tougher, a little more hard-nosed, but still has that traditional Fijian flair that you would expect from a backline player from that country with his pedigree.
Is he as tatted up as TJ? That's the question?
I'm talking skills on the rugby field, not ink on his body, all right?
I'm expecting the full sleeve by the end of the year, Jonah. Let's go.
I mean, I know a guy if you need.
Okay, me personally, no. Fly half, Mick O'Gara. Okay, Hagen Schulte out, and Mick O'Gara is going to come in and join Cliven Lobster in that room. 24, Irishman, Leinster Sub Academy, USA eligible guy, 24 years old. Again, it's a youth movement here, but some guys with some good experience and looking for more minutes here in MLR.
This is a guy that can really marshal a team around the field, that can throw the ball around and really find those gaps in attack. He's a really smart player, good with the boot as well. Obviously, missing Hagen Schulte and that weapon that he had in his left foot. Take nothing away from the weapons that this kid has, Mick O'Gara. I mean, Ireland rugby is elite by any stretch of the imagination, having won as many games against the All Blacks in past years. You're talking about an elite level player coming through an elite farm system. We're lucky to have somebody like Mick O'Gara.
I'm guessing that Paul Mullen was like, "Can we get another Irishman or two?"
Is he lonely?
Yeah, I joked on the Ross Release show, like, did he complain? Like, what happened there too? Which is awesome. We'll have 3 Irishmen on the squad this year, which would be great. Okay, and last but not least for the new signings and the fourth back, Caleb McInerney, a fullback / fly half, 25-year-old kid from New Zealand, electric playmaker, Super Rugby experience with Crusaders, Mitre 10 with Hawke's Bay Magpies, Highlanders, 4 caps for New Zealand U20, Maori All Blacks. Nice resume for this guy.
This is another part of there's a lot more of these provincial level and academy level Super Rugby players starting to come to play here in the United States and Major League Rugby, making a lot of waves, of course, with the coaching signings that we've had here in the offseason. It's a really attractive place to play here. And a kid that plays an exciting brand of rugby. Look at the pedigree of fullbacks in the country of New Zealand and just how many guys have been electric playmakers from the back at that number 15 spot. He's going to add that versatility of being able to play on the outside at the wings or at the 15 position, in sliding into 10 if he needs to. This is a really, really electrifying player to have.
Yeah, you mentioned the coaching signing, Robbie Abel. Awesome addition. We're looking forward to getting to know Robbie, and his work with forwards will be great because last year, remember, all of a sudden Chris Latham's out. Sean Pittman's the interim guy. They don't have a Sean's the forwards coach and the coach. Now Sean can just be the head coach, which would be awesome.
Going to be a great addition to have him, and excited to be able to get all the boys, I'm sure, in camp. There's going to be some really, really, really entertaining rugby played here for Dub Nation this year, man. I'm pumped.
I can't wait for a couple weeks from now when we can go in and check out all these guys. It's going to be awesome. Okay, let's walk position by position, get your thoughts on the groups here. So we'll start with loose head prop, Franco Vandenberg, Ali Khalifi back. Our guest later in the program, stay tuned for this, Emerson Prior, 3rd-round pick, joins that group.
I mean, you're talking about a really deep group with all kinds of experience, the leadership of Ali Khalifi and the knowledge that he's gained coaching the select side this year, back and ready to go. So it'll be great to see him and Franco Vandenberg, either one of those guys starting on any other team in Major League Rugby respectively, and they back each other up so well on that loose head side.
It's a good group. Okay, hooker, Sama Malolo out, all MLR first teamer, tied first in tries. Would have been nice to have him. Didn't work out, but Tuveri Vungakoto is back, the Fijian, with so much experience internationally. Chad Goff, newly minted Eagle against the All Blacks. And then Joey Baki, the MLR first-round pick, 9th overall out of Western Michigan.
It's easy to forget how young Tu Vungakoto is and how good a hooker he really is. And Chad Goff playing behind two with the youth and experience of Baki pushing them both is going to be fantastic for that number 2 jersey this year for Dub Nation.
anyone to Chad Goff. It's like, what'd you do this summer? Oh, I played against the All Blacks. What'd you do?
Oh yeah, made my debut. Got jersey swap with Dane Coles. No big deal.
What? The All Blacks tweeted out a picture of me. Like, what a year for Chad Goff. That was cool. Okay, tight head. Alex Tucci goes to Dallas. Angus McClellan is back. He's been Mr. Steady, man, for 5 years. Paul Mullen, one of the Eagles starters. Elijah Hayes, who's been on that development USA squad, a draft pick from 2 years ago.
Elijah Hayes is really one of those up-and-coming guys in the MLR that you need to keep an eye on as he continues to learn behind the experience of Gus and Paul. You know, when Paul came in, everybody just assumed he would be the starting tight head for the Utah Warriors, and Gus played some of the best rugby I've ever seen him play last year and really earned that starting tight head spot. I think played 50-something consecutive games starting in that number 3 jersey before giving it up for 40 minutes and then coming back on to finish off a game for the Warriors. So it's great to have somebody that can anchor that scrum on the tight head side like Angus and like Paul, and then the experience that they've got to be able to teach Elijah Hayes is going to be fantastic. Physically, that kid's come so far in the last 2 years, and we're ready to see him in a first-team jersey.
Okay, to the second row we go. We've grouped all the locks together. Aston Fortin went to France. MLR second-teamer. Matt Jensen retired, as you mentioned. So in come Regan Leslie and Jamie Lane. We mentioned them. Joining Yuri Van Vuren and Saya Uhila, the vets.
You know, Yuri Van Vuren plays a lot of time at 8 for the Utah Warriors. And, Jamie and Regan could probably also make that switch. You're talking about dynamic playmakers in that tight 5 there in the second row. And Saya Uhila, just every single year, all I hear out of that guy is one more year, year after year after year. The elder statesman of Dub Nation still carrying on the legacy, man, and you love to see it.
Yeah. Like, I don't. Is he 32 or is he 48? I can't tell. Like, he's just brings the muscle every year.
He's gonna play till he's 67 and a half, and he can start collecting his Social Security. He's just gonna go all the way through, guys. Expect to see Saya here forever.
I love it. Okay, flankers in 8-man. Lance Williams, Bailey Wilson, Thomas Tuavel, and Mike Gieselman are set to return in that space.
And again, you add Yuri Van Vuren into that mix in that back row, and you're talking about an incredibly deep group of guys on any given week. Every single one of these guys contributed to Dub Nation in such a significant way all year long. So you got to love seeing this core group of loose forwards and some really dynamic type 5 forwards here as well. So an incredible group of guys there all together in that flanker group. And you're going to want to make sure you see them. Don't miss out a minute, Dub Nation. It's time to get your season tickets, all right? If you're not there at the beginning of the season, we're going to miss you, and we're going to say, nanner, nanner, boo-boo, we saw more rugby than you do. Okay? Call 801-477-7652. There's flex packages available. You can get your founding members package or the new faces package, which includes the tickets to all the tickets that are available for the new Utah Warriors 2022 season.
Okay, to the backs we go. Okay, scrum half. We mentioned Michael Baskin, Fraser Hurst are out. Niall Saunders and Jone Vatu Wali. And, of course, Danny Christensen, who played a prominent role at the end of the season.
Danny Christensen, great to see him finally get the attention he deserves on the first team. And he's going to push both of these new guys in helping them get acclimated, learn the system, and providing that opposition for them and keeping them honest. Danny's a great asset and 2 dynamic playmakers there with Niall and Yone as well at that 9 position. We're in good hands.
With Allstate. Okay, fly half. Hagen Schulte, not returning, as we mentioned, 8th in MLR with 87 points. Mick O'Gara, the Irishman, is part of that group. And Cliven Lopser is going to be hopefully healthy and making plays, because when we saw him, he was pretty dynamic.
You know, we saw flashes of what he was capable of. You know, he played well through some of the rugby qualifiers and made some electric plays for his home country of Namibia. It'll be great to see him back and healthy this year, because we're going to need him alongside Mick throughout the season to make plays for the Utah Warriors. He's great with his feet. He's great with his hands, and he's got an incredible mind and vision to see the field.
He had one of the best plays of the year last year, and there were some great ones where he tracked down a ball inside the 22 and just blasted it like the length of the field and chased it and made a tackle. It was like unbelievable. It was crazy. Okay, the wings. Josh Whippian's not the Lauti out. Mike Teo's back. MLR Player of the Year. He's incredible. Joe Mano, former selects player turned starter, had a knee injury, getting healthy. Mika Kruse is back. That is a loaded group right there.
You know, I mean, if this is our starting back 3 every single game, you could do no better in Major League Rugby. This is an electrifying group that have real chemistry together. They're going to be exciting to watch, but don't make anything guaranteed. There's some new guys in the roster. They're going to push these veterans.
Right, and there are 5 select spots as well. So not all roster spots are done, but the new signings are in. We know who's out, and there are selects fighting for spots. Okay, inside center. This one is locked down so much that we have one name on this list. Derek Ellingson's out. It's Tyler Fisher, who just had a baby recently. Congratulations to Tyler and his wife on the baby.
Congratulations. And I think they also just celebrated an anniversary recently as well. So all good things happening. He was an absolute force in the midfield for the Utah Warriors, played unbelievable defense, wore out offenses, didn't score as many tries as I know most centers would like to, but always part of the attack, always there when Dub Nation needed him. And also Derek Ellingson, I don't know if I'm jumping the gun here, but he played both of those center positions. And he is I think he's out. So, yep. It's going to be Tyler Fisher, barring somebody else coming up through the system. I wouldn't be surprised if you see somebody like James Vaifale probably slide into that spot and spell him when we need him.
Yeah, totally. He's one of the outside centers, which brings us to that. Calvin Whiting, so solid, rejoined the Eagles last year. That was fun on that trip to Ireland and England. And then you have James Vaifale. And then Logan Tongo, still figuring out, is he going to go with the Sevens? Is he going to be with the Warriors? He's not on the graphic, so maybe that tells us what's going on there. But Logan went from selects to playing a little bit at the end of the year to the Sevens. He had quite the ascension.
He played through the summer, through the Premier Sevens in that tournament, and won MVP of the inaugural tournament, playing alongside Perry Baker, got a lot of attention. Now he's played through the 2 different tournaments in Dubai and is performing incredibly well. I got a chance to talk to him briefly as he came home, and he is really committed to heading down to the Performance Center and being with that team as they look forward to probably an Olympic push. So exciting to have Logan Tongo in and amongst those guys being talked about in those circles from right here through the Pathways program for Utah Warriors.
Yeah, pretty awesome. Okay, and last but not least, fullback Caleb McInerney, as we mentioned. And then Connor Burns is one of the draft picks from this year. We see him in the office. He's already here. He's playing with the selects a little bit. So 2 guys at fullback. And like you mentioned, there's some versatility there where maybe Cliven Lobster is playing fullback sometimes. Maybe Mikey Teo's at fullback. It just kind of depends.
I mean, that back 3 position, whether it's left or right wing and fullback, there's really 5 or 6 guys, maybe even 7 guys on this team that can play any one of those positions on any given night. It's probably the only position on the field where we're as deep and as versatile and dynamic as we are in the loose forwards at the 6, 7, and 8 positions in the flankers and number 8. So an exciting group that scored a lot of tries last year and have another gear, it looks like, with this group to go to for 2022.
Absolutely. And so that's the roster release. What's your overall impression of this roster, say, versus the last couple of years of what we've seen of Utah Warriors rugby?
I think it's growth on growth. There were a lot of obviously big needs that needed to be addressed. And I think the entire front office staff did a great job of recognizing where talent was available and what we needed, finding the players that fit the playing style for what they're trying to build with Coach Pittman and Coach Davies, and now Coach Abel as well, and making sure that there were dynamic playmakers at every position who not only are good at the basics and the rudimentals of their jobs, but with the ball in hand, given a chance to play free open rugby, have the ability to just break things open at any given moment. So from 1 to 15, this is an incredible rugby side. And I think where we were good, we got better. And where we were great, we got in incredible players to push those guys to new heights that we haven't seen. I expect more out of somebody like Mikey Teo, Mika Cruze, who got his first cap this year for the Eagles. There's so much talent all over this roster, and they're only going to get better with the group that they've surrounded each other with.
Yeah, we'll miss some of the guys that left, but exciting new additions through the draft and through signings and through select. So it's going to be fun in 2022, and make sure you keep an eye on social media posts and emails for holiday deals as we start this Christmas season. You can still get some good swag going into the year. You can still hook up, that friend or family member you want to get something.
I scored one of those. We have these new black and white camouflage. They're not bucket hats. I don't know what you call it, like a ghillie hat almost, like a hiking outdoors cap. Got the black and white camo, Warriors logo right in the middle of it. It's my new go-to anytime it's raining and warm outside. It's going to be everywhere on my Instagram as we go do stuff with my family. It's such a cool piece.
I'm guessing Paul Mullen will be hiking some mountains with it on. Because that's what he did in the offseason, right?
Statistics are good. The Vegas odds on that are with you.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Okay, let's bring in today's guest. His name is Emerson Prior. He was the third-round selection from the Utah Warriors, 37th overall out of Ontario. Brandon Sparks called him the steal of the draft. Emerson, welcome to Dub Nation, man. How you doing?
Hey guys, good to be on here. Thanks for having me. I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
We are stoked to talk to you and get to know you. This will complete our third and final interview with the draft picks as we try and introduce you to Dub Nation. First off, are you in Ontario right now? Is that where you're at?
Yeah, I just made it back to Ontario this week. I just finished up my time with the Pacific Pride out west, the National Development Academy, and also finished up my job at the hospital. I'm a registered nurse there, so I was hoping to make it down to Utah a little early, but here I am and excited to get down there in the new year.
Talk about that balance, man, of being a registered nurse, working all the way through a pandemic and all the challenges that has, and still playing elite level rugby through the academies and the club systems and the developmental squads that you've got there. How is that balancing all of that there in Canada, bro?
It's been good, man. It was definitely a struggle through university, but I had a lot of fun doing it, and it was just a little bit of time management here and there. But yeah, I actually graduated in January of 2021. So up until then, I had just been doing placement, and then I got a job at the hospital, and when I was out west, and not a whole lot of free time. It was a lot of and any day off I had for rugby, I was at the hospital. So my managers at the hospital were really helpful and just let me work whenever I could, basically. So definitely a lot of balance there, but really good to challenge yourself like outside of athletics as well. So a good like academic challenge and then a good athletic challenge keeps a good balance, you know.
What's it been like in a pandemic to be a nurse?
So when the pandemic started, I was a nursing student. So that was definitely an interesting dynamic for sure. And then as I graduated, it was kind of just an easier transition because I already knew what it was like. Definitely a little bit more stressful. Thankfully, knock on wood, anywhere I've worked or was a student, there wasn't a whole lot of COVID going around at the time. So, and the floors I was working on were more like general medical surgical floors. And where I worked in Victoria was a orthopedics floor. So I didn't see any COVID patients, thankfully, but definitely adds an extra stress to the job. And you have to, wear a mask all the time and proper PPE and whatnot. So definitely interesting. It would have been nice to start a career not in the pandemic, but oh well.
Well, look, after that, everything will be easy, right? What's managing a Major League Rugby season after you've been through all of that,
Yeah, for sure.
Brandon Sparks called you the steal of the draft. Pretty high praise from our GM. Talk about the conversations with Sparksy as it led up to the draft that kind of brought you to Utah, and what kind of excitement do you have in joining this team? Now you've seen the squad like we have. What are your thoughts on joining Warriors Nation?
Man, I could not be more excited. I'm super stoked to just get down there and be a part of the team and just soak everything up I can. Just watching the Utah Warriors, I've been following the MLR since it started, and just watching the Utah Warriors just absolutely skyrocket, just as an organization, and then like performance-wise as well. It just seems like a class organization. And when I heard from Brandon, I was really excited. And just his phone call with me, our little interview, he seemed like super switched on, and everything seemed really well organized. So I was I was like sold as soon as we had that little interview, and he asked just me a couple questions, and I asked him a couple questions. It was really good. Right off the bat, I was like, wow, Utah seems like it would be the place for me. Just, yeah.
You're going to love it. It's great.
Yeah.
It really is. The style of rugby, the people here, the rugby culture, the location, the mountains. It's going to be awesome.
Massive amounts of snow that we're getting right now.
Yes. You're used to that.
I'm used to it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to that picture. Can we go back to that picture? What happened to 13? Nope, the other one. What happened to 13? It looks like you were about to destroy this guy.
Oh yeah, he just completely boshed me. No, it was a good hit. Yeah.
He's in an awkward position here. I would be getting rid of that ball right now.
Yeah. No, he didn't tip it, so that was good. Yeah, good for me.
So, as a registered nurse and a medical professional and a rugby player, Have you ever treated an injury on the field that you've seen as you've been in a game?
No, you know what? Thankfully, I haven't. No, I kind of completely switch off my nursing brain when I play rugby, which I feel like you kind of have to because they kind of contraindicate. Your nursing brain's like, why are you running into people? But then rugby's just too much fun. Yeah, I definitely say rugby takes the number one seat on my passions for sure. Yeah.
We're glad it does.
Yeah, for sure.
You're in a group with the Loosehead Props that has some real great experience. Ali Khalifi is a guy that's an Eagle, a ton of experience, multi-year champ with Seattle, and then Franco Vandenberg's been awesome and super consistent, super strong. What's it going to be like to be in that group with those two guys?
I personally think it's just going to be super awesome. Just kind of hammering down with those guys and learning as much as I can from them. Like both class props, super strong, super big fellas, can get around the park as well, which I love to see, and just super excited to learn as much as I can, especially when it comes to the set piece and the scrummaging. Just because, I've been watching several games and they know what they're doing in the scrum, that's for sure. So it'd be awesome just to learn as much as I can from them.
How would you describe your playing style? Obviously a big physical forward, but there's a lot of dynamics to your play as well. How do you think your game matches, and how would you describe it to someone else that doesn't really know the game of rugby?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, for sure. I think I have a good size and good power, but I would agree. I like to add a little bit of dynamics to my game. So as much as I like to carry the ball and take it forward, I like to move the ball and find space and help manipulate that and throw a little offload here and there, and just be a bit more dynamic. I love to maximize my work rate, just get around the field as much as possible. I don't really like to fall into that, big classic lug prop, that just kind of gets around from scrum to scrum. I like to earn my minutes.
I like that. We want to get to something that someone named Ty Webb mentioned on Instagram of, I think, a picture of you. He said, I remember the first time I met Emerson Prior. He saved me from getting hit by a train. I've never seen a man run that fast in my life. It was insane. He pulled me out there like an animal. Utah Warriors rugby, you made a great choice. What's the story there?
There's no story there at all. He's just completely pulled your leg. Yeah, Ty Webb's a good buddy of mine. I played with at Trent University for 4 years, and yeah, he's an awesome
just made
friend.
that up?
Yeah, that was just Ty.
That's
Congrats,
pure
Ty.
class. I love the banter with that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Congrats, Ty. You got us.
Yeah. You got you guys good.
What's the schedule and the plan like for you to join the team?
Like getting down there, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'll be flying back to Victoria, where I left my car, and driving down probably the 31st to hopefully get there for the 1st or the 2nd, and then get straight into it. I believe we start training, report dates the 2nd and start training on the 3rd. So yeah, really excited. I think I'm living in an apartment with the 2 other draftees, so I'm super stoked about that. That'll be good. And yeah.
What does the Google Maps say the hours driving from Victoria to Salt Lake City is?
16 hours. Not too bad.
That's not bad at all.
You break that up into 2 easy sets and you're good to go.
Yeah, that's right.
Are you just going to drive straight through and go hard out?
Yeah. Oh, I think I'll go 2 easy sets.
Yeah.
But I got to rest the rig,
Yeah, New Year's, right? You gotta take a moment.
Yeah, I'll get a little solo celebration.
Some lonely roadside motel.
Yeah, that's right.
To me. Yay!
I'm pulling it up right now. Let's see. You'll probably just weave your way through Washington down into Eastern Oregon and then through Idaho. Is that something like that?
Yeah.
Or drive along the Columbia River. You got a couple options.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
Columbia River Gorge is beautiful. You'll love that. That's fantastic. We can't wait to have you here, man. Congratulations on all the success. You want to talk about a guy that's earned it both on the rugby field and with everything that you've done, through your medical career and getting that started as well. You're an absolute class human being who also happens to be a fantastic rugby player. And I think that's going to fit right into the culture we have here with Warriors, man.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for having me on the show.
Emerson Prior, all the way from Ontario. And best of luck to him on that car drive he's making, 16 hours from Victoria all the way down to Utah. So, yeah, I love the fact, like you just said, this guy's a registered nurse and a rugby player. It's not, like he said, I'm not that lug prop that just bolted back. But he's also not a lug off the pitch. Like, the guy's doing work, working hard, graduated. Now he's stoked to join the Warriors. We're stoked to have him.
And I think you see that as you look all the way down the roster. When I watched the roster release show, when you had Coach Pittman and Brandon Sparks on, I was really impressed, not just at the quality of the player, but the culture guys that were brought in here. There's definitely an attitude and a way of doing business here in the Utah Warriors that all of these guys fit into so well from a mental and social aspect. And then they're quality rugby players on top of that. So I'm excited to see how they continue to gel and these new guys fit in to that core group of Warriors that we already have who are leading the way and setting the tone.
Someone else is a registered nurse. I'm trying to remember. Was it Connor Burns? Another one of those draft picks? I'm trying to remember.
I don't remember.
There's 2 on the team, which is crazy.
Well, that's good. I mean, if we ever need an emergency backup trainer, we've got a couple of them.
It's funny that Emerson said he just kind of turns it off, right? He's just got to focus on that.
Well, yeah, you can't go from I'm going to hit that guy and fold him in half and make him wish he never stepped foot on the rugby pitch to, oh man, this guy's probably got internal hemorrhaging from what I just did to him. I feel really bad about that.
And he said his mind's like, oh no, you're running into someone.
It's an incredible guy. It was great to chat with him, and I can't wait to get to know him more. Dub Nation, we got a good one with Emerson Prior.
Absolutely. Okay, well, in 2 weeks, we're going to take that one off, that would-be show off, and then we'll get after it in January. Because guess what? The season starts Sunday, February 6th. Like, we're 6 weeks out or something? I mean, it's coming up quick.
It's rugby time, Dub Nation. I mean, there's no off season anymore. We're gearing up for it. Look at that, week 1, San Diego. Here we go. Circle it on your calendars with a big red heart, and let's get her done because it's about time to kick it off. 2022 Utah Warriors rugby. If you don't have your tickets, make sure you get them. Season tickets, single game tickets. It's all available now. Visit warriorsrugby.com or call 801-477-7652. Tickets as low as under $100 to come out and be part of Dub Nation and check out the single best home field advantage in all of Major League Rugby.
Old man Ma'anono will be in that game on the road, which will be awesome.
I'd like to see you call him an old man to his face.
I'll never see him in person.
I put $20 on that.
He won't have the chance. Yeah, that'll do it for us. We'll see you in 2022. It's been a tremendous 2021. We want to thank everyone that watches this, that listens to this, that helps with this, including Billy, the producer, who always does a great job. Mike Gieselman throughout the year as well. Banksy, of course. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year coming up. Thanks to Emerson Prior for joining us as well. We will see you in 2022. Go Warriors.